University of Lahore, Pakistan, and 10th International Conference on Economic Management and Green Development. So basically, it's an international body that is organizing conference in different countries, and the purpose of this conference is to provide the international exposure to all the students or the participants around the world. And I'm highly grateful to all of you that you spare your precious time and join this session. Myself, professionally, along with the trainer and my student, and you can say that a very valuable resource is Tika, is also joining us for this session, and Mr. Abdullah is also participating us for this valuable workshop. So basically, the title, as you are already in front of you, that the Rethinking, Governance and Policy Innovation for Societal Challenges. So before opening this session, I want to briefly explain that what actually we are going to cover and what is basically the main purpose of this workshop. Actually, anything that is for the policy making and for the policy development is must be backed by research, and there are a lot of ways that we are conducting a research in our studies. That is based on, you can say that the survey, that is can be a study method study, that can be a qualitative study. So the research is for the purpose, and the purpose is to provide implications around the world, specifically in our own country, Pakistan, that we are actually watching, and you can say that a developing country where we need to develop insightful policy that can help us for the citizen and for the betterment of their lives. So with this, I want to open the workshop objectives. That is basically the reshaping governance and the explore framework for effective policy making and policy dissemination, as we just talked about. Myself, Dr. Hassan, I've already communicated my own speaker with you, and the outcome will be the actionable framework, real-world examples, and the tool to drive innovation in your context. So basically, these are the outcomes that you will get after making this session. So now the question arises that why governments need rethinking? Because governments are creating different policies, or they are providing different kind of directions. But the question arises that when you really think that all the things that are actually formulated by the government side is backed by research, is backed by supporting evidence. So this is a question we need to investigate. So as you all are aware of the generic overview, my can say that the co-presenter also going to discuss about these things, but I'm going to give you an helicopter view that your climate is continuously changing. Different countries have different kind of climate challenges. The emergence of the new technologies, specifically a very well-known AI, where everything is basically converting into the artificial intelligence, and we are able to understand, and we just need to implement the artificial intelligence in our whole system. That can be at the government side, that can be at the institution level. Digital transformation, there must be a one single way where you can get and collect all the information from a single platform that is known as a digital identity as well. And then we have a global pandemics, a lot of things that came in front of you when you are not mentally prepared how to tackle such kind of situations. That can come under the situation where the crisis level is there, and you need to be respond in a reactive way. That cannot be make sure that this thing will come in the future. So you need to be very much careful that what kind of challenges you're going to face in coming year. Economic uncertainty, because government have limited resources. It's not like that you have each and everything with you, but you have to maximum utilizing your uncertain situation, and with the limited resources that you need to provide back to the community. So that is actually a challenge that government is going to be faced. And then we have a political polarization where there is a different kind of trust levels are there, and you can say that the political instability, the political situation, where there is a gap between developing and developing countries. So this need to be very much make sure from the government side that need to be covered in coming days. Cybersecurity factor is there, where there is a different kind of threats, different kind of personal information that can be hacked, that can be traced out. So it's a responsibility of the governments that rethink the policy, how you can face such kind of challenges, how can you provide a policy for the better execution. Migration can be anything that can be at the resource level, that can be at your personal or your long-term things. But you need to provide sustainable policies that your people must work with you, not going to migrate, and your intellectual resources going to migrate, and there is a big challenge. Again, good governance principles based on the transparency, accountability, participation, rule of law, effectiveness, and the equity. So, such kind of things, for example, if you are taking hearing algorithm with you for the evaluation of each and every aspect, that is basically in terms of the employee satisfaction, in terms of the employee benefits. So if the algorithm calculation is there, so this is a transparency, but again along with the challenge. So opportunity is in front of you, that is a governance level, but you need to be very much make sure that you are not going to rely only on this new AI emergence data, where you can just provide the evaluation based on the system generated thing. Well, this is a time when you're going to take help from that artificial intelligence tools and other sort of things to provide the transparency to that file. Then there is a no chance that other person can raise questions that this is against the fair treatment, this is you can say that discrimination factor is there. So transparency, rule of law, accountability for all. So that is a big thing that developing countries base there. I'm not making a claim that okay fine, we are accountable and the other person is not accountable. They are not providing the access to the government. So this is responsibility for governors, that every person must have a perception with him or her, that everyone is treated on the same page. Effectiveness must be there, the tendency to achieve your stated goal, the tendency to achieve your main objective, whether you are in the part of the government or in the part of your just citizen of the country. So every person must be responsible that I am working on this task and this is my prime objective, that I am going to complete that task in that specific time. And equity factor is also there when there is every person working on the same level, accountability for everyone. Like if I am one person having the responsibility, the person is working my supervision, then you both are accountable at the same level. So equity must be there as far as the promotion, as far as the increments of the employer, and as well as the country level things. For example, if any person is having such kind of charge, then there must be some kind of back-end justification that while we are promoting or we are providing the better position to that certain person. Just quick review of traditional versus modern governance, like as we just go back 1 decade, so we can easily identify that the governance, like we are easy to evaluate that centralized system was there, bureaucracy was there. When there is a top person, the government are going to make any kind of policy, any kind of innovation by his or her own intuition, without involving all stakeholders. So the process is slow, and then the government only is once that okay fine, I am taking responsibility, I am just leading that country, so I am just going to be each and everything. Then the final thing is that reactive approach. Like once the problem comes in front of you, then you're going to respond to it. But once we are moving my transition from the traditional governance to the modern technologies governance, so there is an agile interest. Implement is fast, and at every place where you can plan, where you can analyze the things, implement the things, develop the things, and evaluate the things. So it's a very quick process, and every same order is going to is a thing called. And then the collaborative, as previous thing was based on the centralization. Here's the concept of decentralization. You're just going to delegate your consider lower case or the lower level things. But if you are top level, then the middle level and then the function level, the authority must be delegated. You consider governance level. There are good governance levels there. And then we have a adaptive. Like you can just take the things, you can adapt the things, minor changes, and then implement the things. Not like that, just copy paste the things, just as already doing from the last 20 years, they're going to implement the same thing towards next decade. So adaptation must be there. And then we have a multiple stakeholders, the involvement of every person that is directly or indirectly influenced with the policy that is better. And final thing is a proactive. You just need to be very much careful that before the emergence of the event, your response is already there. Though the question may arise that there are a lot of things that are not actually replaying, that the things coming that you will have the pandemic, for example, COVID-19, a very well known example we already many times. So if there is, you must have such kind of policy that if such kind of event happens, then the resources and backup things are with you. For example, supplies are there in a country, different kind of articles are there, then what is actually your plan? If this thing happens, then what will you do? Yes, these are things that are not actually planned, not fully aware about that as far as the government is concerned. But you have such kind of backup things, plan B, plan C. You must have that you minimize the risk at the time when it required. So it's basically a paradigm shift. You are now moving towards traditional things to the modern era. And especially I'm going to give you an example of Pakistan where the public sectors are not focusing on the traditional type of governance. But right now, it's the need of the time. They are also going to convert the whole system into the new era, new partnerships and these things. Like border different information, different public sector offices, then they are transforming their system into a complete algorithm calculation and AI ecosystem. So this is actually a big data issue. Next, before I just going to request to Mr. Nida, last time when we discussed about that, what is actually the policy? Question how actually policy will be designed and what are actually the initiatives that will require for the formation of the best and ideal policy. For instance, a policy information is developed and implementation based upon the knowledge. Yes. It can be the processes that improve public outcomes and address societal challenges more effectively than existing method. If you're going to design or implement one new policy, there must be a different kind of questions coming in front of the governors. Like why we are actually achieve or modifying logistic policy. If the policy exists and you are going to add something, there must be a solid justification that can be actually this policy is going to affect the millions of people that are actually the way out there. So digital taxation, for example, I want to discuss about that. New framework for taxing digital economy and growth models. Why? Why are you using new taxes? Why are you adding new things? There must be a rationale behind for that. Because if you are going to take taxes, yes, the government basically works on the taxes that actually the citizen pay to the government. So, the point is that there must be equally things that if the person who is salary, if the person who is doing the business, who are not on the equal level. For instance, if a salaried person is concerned, so before you can say that I'm going to withdraw my salary, my tax automatically. But what about the person who are having different kind of businesses and who are earning more than a salaried person? So why they are not operating on the equality level? So there must be a mechanism behind that the district taxation system is for every person, and there is a need to transform that system on the district level. Like by just entering my board or just entering my information, I can get comprehensive information. Then this year I paid this amount of taxes to the government. And in the return, government is providing subsidies, government is providing infrastructure, government is actually providing me better time. So this is actually my point, right, that I am paying to the government and in return, government will subsidize. And then we have the online public services. There is a digital platform and citizen access to the government services. Like multiple tabs, multiple launching of new things. If I'm going to work on any kind of new things, like I'm going to buy a only just say different kind of services, there is no need to visit the office. Everything is on the digital platform. Smart cities concept was with there, like Internet of Things enabled environment where there is no need to manual kind of transformation of my properties. Like everything must be on a single click. E-government concept is there. They can provide different kind of suggestions by input. There might be input firstly entertainment. The very important thing is that, for example, most of the time we just raise our concern, we just provide a suggestion, but the response was not there. So this is now fixing the imbalance between the policy and the execution. So our stance, our intensity, the stance of every person must be that if the policy is there, then the execution and implementation must be transparent. And if not a piece of a document, the document must be implemented and executed on a very optimal and effective manner. So with this, now I'm going to request to Mr. Abdullah to just continue.
Policy innovation does not occur randomly. As we all know, our government is just like to be forced to adapt these kind of things because our society is getting changed rapidly, and there are 5 main drivers in policy innovation. The first is technology change. Technology such as artificial intelligence, automation, and digital platform have completely changed the way government works. Today, government can raise huge amount of information, automate routine services, and make fast decisions. Second is citizen expectations. As we all know, our modern citizens require things to be more transparent, things that needs to be done more faster than others, and they just don't want to stand in the long queues to get their own turn. Instead, they just need the online tracking system, similar to online tracking system on e-commerce method. Everything is available in just a few clicks. So the third one, cable is economic pressure. Government have always limited financial resources, so they must have find innovative way to perform efficiency while reducing unnecessary costs. So innovations where government deliver better services without increasing the spendings. Another important element is environmental change. Climate change like pollution and natural disasters require government to produce new environmental regulation and sustainable development policies. Traditional approaches are not sufficient to deal with this kind of complexity. Finally, is the global automation. Religious innovations. They not be to reflect professional foreign investments, business and tourism. We intend adopting innovative policies to become more competitive in the development economy. So now let's move to the digital governance environments. So digital governance means using modern technologies to improve the public administration and public service. One of the most important technologies is the AI intelligence. One of the most important technologies is AI intelligence. AI helps government to predict the future needs for repetitive tasks and support decision making. For example, AI identify areas where healthcare resources are most needed and record in government programs. Another powerful tool is big data. Government collects information from many different sources. Analyzing this data, policymakers can better understand citizens' needs and design more effective public policies. So, another one is blockchain by provide secure and trusted reports that can be used for the land registration, digital contracts, and identify the verification while using the sort of So, another innovation is digital identity, which allows citizens to access multiple government services one secure system and they depend forward access. Several countries have become global leaders in different governments, like Singapore, developed smart mission and Arab Emirates established a ministry of artificial intelligence, and South Korea this best young world leading center governments. These examples show how technology is making government different citizen centered. Thank you so much. I would like to invite relationship, awareness.
I'm going to explain evidence-based policy making. Evidence-based policy making means having correct data and research. At previous times, government made decisions on their personal experiences or institutions, but now they government make policies according to the evidence and facts. The question rises here that asking that there are main tools. First one is collecting data. We collect data. Government collects data through surveys and procedures. To find the problem research. And researchers studies by the researchers and universities and the government to understand the problems, economic and social problems. Experiments. More the time on the ongoing work experimented on a small area. So that we tested first. But pilot studies, as I before that it will be first experimented on the small scale. It will also reduce risk and save money. Implementation that will then the data results and see that the policies will be successfully applied on fish and different authorities continuing our trying to improve. The best example here is COVID-19 pandemic. In pandemic, we have collected information from our this infectious data. We still take policies like vaccines and lockdown. Will save the lives of many people and also the sensitive services. We would like to say that it was made transparent, responsible, and it is so one word as